enough of this. Can't get enough of this. Can't get enough. Get enough of this. Can't get enough of this. Can't get enough of your love. Of your love. You got me feeling.
What's up, auspicious family? Welcome to another auspicious vlog. Today I have a special guest and I want you guys to meet him. It's the man behind the brand of Auspicious. What's up, Christian?
Not much, man. I appreciate you for
Always
having
a
me.
pleasure having you here in my house, man.
The brand originated way back with the word when I was in high school. I would rap and I would freestyle. I was really into hip hop and stuff. I still am, but I was really trying to be a rapper and stuff. And I was freestyling one day, me and my friend, and I came across that word auspicious. Like I was saying, like delicious, suspicious, auspicious, and I don't know. I probably came across that word somewhere, like in school or somewhere. I'd heard it.
You've heard it
but
before.
When I said it, I was like, oh, this is cool. So then went on the internet, searched the meaning, and right away I really just connected to it because in the dictionary that word means conducive to success or favorable. That's what the word auspicious means. And so then my friend was like, man, like I didn't have a name or anything. I was just kind of like trying to rap, you know. So he just like,
So he gave you the name.
yeah, he made me feel cool to use it, you know what I'm saying? Because I was thinking about it, but I wasn't gonna be like, oh, this is my name now. He was like, yeah, bro, like you should do that, and I was like, all right. So shout out to the homie Gus, yeah.
Shout out to you, man.
Yeah, and so that's how we kind of started. I used that, and people in high school started calling me that. Even like my teacher knew me as that.
Wow.
Yeah, and
I didn't know
so
that.
yeah. Shout out to Mr. Garza. So he would call me auspicious, and yeah, graduated high school. Like 2016, like a year later, I decided to start the brand. But the funny thing about everything is like it was never really planned. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
It was one day where I was at your house one day, your apartment, and our cousin Luis came over, and he kind of planted a seed that day. I don't even know if he knows that, but he came and he was like talking about some like, I want to start selling shirts and hats or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like that's cool, you know. But I didn't like. I was like, whatever. But then, I don't know, just later on that day or the next day,
thinking about it.
I was like, yeah, like that's not a bad idea, you know. So then I looked into it, and I was like, well, what would I do, like? And then it came to me like, oh, like auspicious, like you know. I'm like, that's a cool word and it means something cool. So I was like, I could do something like that. So then I hit up my good friend Hector, who does like graphics and designing and stuff like that. And I remember I told him like, yeah, I want to do this. I want to make this hat. You know, let's make something happen. So then I remember I told him to come over, and then that's when he came into the picture because for those of you that don't know, Mondo's an artistic guy. He used to paint and doodle, like he draw, like back in the day, like yeah, like he would do some pretty cool work. Like not gonna lie.
Thanks, man.
And maybe you can share some of it later.
Maybe later on you'll see my little hobbies. Yeah.
So I knew that. I was like, oh, let's try something. Like maybe you can just come up with something. Let's just go with the flow. So that's when he did that. So I don't know if you want to tell him about it.
Yeah, I remember they came over. They told me they were going to come over, and he just told me, write the auspicious word, write the auspicious. And I always wrote my A's this way. Like, even even my signature is like that. Like, I start my A like that. I don't know, that happened a long time ago. I had that, that design for it. So that's where I was like, okay, let's do it. So that's how that happened.
Yeah, so we decided on that one. We were like, this is dope. Let's do something with it. So I just made like 12 hats, a dozen. And people really liked it when I explained what the word meant. And that's when I kind of realized, like, you know, it's like a really positive message. And I like the way that people would react to it. Like, oh, this is cool, you know?
Let me show you guys the design real quick. Pop out right now. They're really nice, right? I mean, come on. That's when I first saw that, I was like, damn, these are really nice hats.
Alright, yeah, so basically it started me and my family were going through like a financial burden. We were going through some things, and I remember I was in my room, and my dad told me to, get some 5 gallons, the water dispenser, fill it up, and I didn't even have enough for the 5 gallons. I just had pure pennies in my piggy bank, and it was just that moment that I was really kind of like, I just kind of broke down. I started like, crying. I was like, that first mentality I had was like victimizing. I was complaining, like, why is this happening? Like, we're going through a lot. But then like right away, I just checked myself, and I had to reevaluate my situation, and I really just, gratitude was the thing that I realized. I'm like,
immediately,
I'm good. Like, I'm really good. Like, why am I complaining? Like, slowly but surely, like, I'm gonna be all right. Like, you gotta enjoy the journey. And that's when I felt that word, patience, come to me. I felt like God kind of just said that to me, and it really was really clear. I was like, patience, like, be patient, like, just enjoy right now where you're at. And my brother had a calendar that he had at each month. The calendar had a quote on it, and I remember I looked over at the calendar, and the calendar's quote was, "Success is a journey, not a destination." And everything just kind of clicked for me, and I kind of was like, just at the end of that, I was like really smiling and kind of like laughing, like, man, like, slowly but surely, like, everything's gonna be all right. Like, enjoy the journey, enjoy right now, be present. Like that. And so that's really how that came together.
That's awesome.
Well, yeah. To me, it's I always felt like the underdog in a lot of ways. And so with the story, like the tortoise and the hare, if you guys don't know the story, the tortoise was slow, of course, going up against the rabbit, which is way faster. And so I felt at a disadvantage a lot of times. But once I really realized that, you know what, I am auspicious, I am great in my own way.
Yeah.
Like, it was a reminder more than anything. Like, on the first hoodies that I did, I had a tortoise right here on the sleeve, because it was a constant reminder. Whatever you're doing throughout your day, you get frustrated, whatever, like, you remember,
look at it.
You look at it, and it reminds you, like,
yeah,
enjoy the journey right now. Like, be present. Slowly but surely, like, you're all right. Like, just like that tortoise, wasn't even worried about the rabbit that took off. Just like, all right. At the end, he ended up winning anyways.
Yeah. And
it's not even about beating somebody else. It's more so about just believing in yourself and knowing that you're gonna be all right, and you choose to be happy regardless of your situation. So that was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And I felt like that tortoise, and I chose to be happy and enjoy my journey. I'm on my little walk. I'm on my way.
I like that. That when you talk about that, and when you told me about the tortoise, I immediately pictured my son Nathan. When he told me about this whole story about the tortoise and the hare, and how he incorporated that in the clothing line, the hare has different physical abilities than the tortoise has. Obviously, he's slower. He didn't have the legs that he has. He didn't have that body that he has. So that reminds me of Nathan's disabilities. Like, he's not like the normal kid. So that's why I think it's so important how that kind of relates to what you're doing, and that's why I was so connected to it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to tell you guys something that I haven't told nobody before as to what I was going through at the hospital with his actual clothing line, and I'm going to tell you guys that. First, I'm going to show you a picture of what I was wearing. So here's a picture right here. So that jacket right there is what I carried with me at the hospital. When we entered the room, the NICUs, and I don't know if you know this, Christian, but when you go in there, you have to wash your hands all the way up here, and you have to wash them for like 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So with that jacket, I had to take the jacket completely off so I can wash my hands, and I put it on the chair that I would sit at. I was washing my hands, and I was just thinking, like, I was overwhelmed because of my financial burden that I had at home. I wasn't working. So I reached out to social media. I was like, you know what, I'm going to use social media, and I'm going to try to reach out to people so that way we can maybe get some answers, because at that time we didn't know what Nathan's diagnosis was. So on my Instagram, I created an Instagram, and I didn't know what name to use. I didn't want to use my full name because of my privacy too. I didn't want to put out my last names or anything like that. So I looked at the jacket. I looked at the jacket and I was like, auspicious, you know, like. So that's where Auspicious Mondo came about, and that's why I use that name till this day, because it reminded me. I was like, well, I am auspicious, you know what I'm saying? And so I was already at a mentality where I was, you know, I was trying to stay positive as much as I could. I was being strong for my family, and the word auspicious just reminded me. And in the back, on the back of the actual jacket, in the back, he had the words "destined for greatness," and so it just kind of clicked for me, you know. I believe that sometimes things happen for a reason. And that night just happened, and
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So anyway, so when we're in the hospital, he came to visit. You remember when he came to visit us, and he surprised me with the idea. Can you tell him about the?
Yeah. So basically, when they were in the hospital, I would go and try and visit as much as I can. Obviously, he was in Madera, like Children's, and at that point, I was kind of on break with the brand. Like I'd kind of taken a pause, just because I moved to LA and I was just personal reasons. But like he said, it just kind of connected. It made a lot of sense. I was like, I had actually made a onesie little, I don't even know, onesie little suit for Nathan before he was born for his baby shower. And so I was like, wait, why don't I just take that and I can make more little onesies, and I can raise a fund for Nathan.
I remember I called him. I don't know if you remember this. When we were about to start the YouTube channel, I called him and I said, "Hey, dude, I need a YouTube channel name, and I really want to use The Auspicious Family, you know, because of what we've been through so far, and you know what it means to us." So I asked him, "Hey, do you think would it be all right if I used because The Auspicious, this right here is his trademark?" So then it just kind of happened, you know.
Yeah, and then I was like, man, yeah, of course, like, you know, like, that's great, like, and it made more sense to me as far as like, I really just like, I was very like touched by that, like, man, like, yeah, you know, like, Nathan is like, you know, slowly but surely he's progressing, and it makes a lot of sense to be able to have something like, you know, represent his story. So I was very glad that he even considered it, you know. And it was just kind of out of nowhere, you know, like it just kind of.
Because honestly, you could have been like, "Nah, man, like that's my company." I mean, like other people, like, you know.
Right.
So I mean, this guy's awesome for that. That night when he told me, he gave me the go, like he told me like, "Yeah, you can go ahead." I immediately like started working, and I had took a quick picture of me and my family, and we all had the Auspicious Apparel.
Yeah.
He had dropped some clothes off, and so we took that picture, and this is what came about right here. So that was just something that we came up with really quick, and I love the banner. I think it came out pretty good. So,
good job, bro.
So thank you, man. I appreciate it. So I want to raise awareness for Nathan. So we kind of talked about the designing a shirt for Nathan, because a lot of you guys said, "Hey, we should make shirts and try to sell them and stuff." You guys actually came up with the idea, and then I brought it to you. Right. And the guy who designed this shirt right here, Sunny Dope, shout out to you. I reached out to him about my situation, what we wanted to do, and he decided to donate his time and make this design for free for Nathan, and I thought that was so generous of him.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him for sure. And so what we came up with was the tortoise, of course.
Yeah. So we wanted to the shirt. When he came to me with that idea, I was like, yeah, I think that's great. So taking the similar concept of the tortoise and what it represents, we want to be able to make the design is actually like a tortoise walking, which represents, you know, continuously moving forward, the journey. And then we have Nathan's like sitting on top of the tortoise and like kind of sleeping, like laying there, you know, and and it represents the journey, you know, just like the tortoise was, you know, doubted and was an underdog, but still won. You know, it's like Nathan is a champion, you know, he's a little fighter, and so that's why I wanted to kind of incorporate that idea with this shirt design.
Now, the crazy thing about this, guys, is that it's not crazy. It's more amazing that this design does not necessarily have to be just for Nathan. Like this can represent every single child that has any kind of disability, or anybody on the spectrum, anybody that has a genetic disease or genetic disorder, but they are all destined for greatness. Like you see all these kids, they're amazing. Some of them are, one of the kid, I forgot his name, he can't walk and stuff, but he's out there motivating people. That he's a motivational speaker. It's like no matter what, like we all have a purpose, and we all have
that
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and it's not like, I really think like there's no one to say that you're not great. No one can say that. No one defines you but you, regardless, like you said, regardless of what your situation is, whether it's a medical condition or whether it's just in life, if you got some setbacks.
Perfect.
It's doesn't matter. Continuously moving forward, slowly but surely.
So it's like it fits with everybody basically. The shirt, it just kind of fits with everybody, and so. On the back of the shirt, we're gonna have the name of the diagnosis, which is Q-dyslexia type 3, and basically just raise awareness, is also kind of raise funds for us and stuff like that. So that's basically on that shirt. So what else do you have?
Actually, yeah. So I'm glad that you asked, because actually earlier today, and he doesn't even know this, but I actually decided to. I purchased the domain, AUSPICIOUSFamily.com. So yeah, instead of being Auspicious Apparel, because that's what the website is right now, I decided to take that and really incorporate it into what he has going on with Nathan and all that, like just all of you guys, because we are a family. Like it makes a lot of sense, like we're all a family. Like he's my family, like actually, like we're related, but also like all you guys that have been so supportive and really just all in to be part of this movement. So I'm really I'm just glad to be able to be able to do something. So
don't make me cry on camera, man. Don't do that to me.
Man. Yeah, so that's what's next. I'm gonna make it AUSPICIOUSFamily.com. All of you guys are gonna be seeing a lot more.
See, like to me, it's overwhelming how you guys are so involved with Nathan and in him, like just going out of his way. He didn't have to do that, you know what I mean? And it's like it gets me emotional because. I don't know any of you guys, and you guys are from strangers to family, and we're kind of creating this, this community. And for all the parents who are out there that have kids in a NICU, it's one of the toughest things that any parent has to go through. Having a kid that has, any kind of medical condition, it's horrible, cancer or any of these things. And I think that if we can kind of relate to that, and we can kind of help each other and be a support system, a pillar, I think that it moves us forward into into this, continue this journey,
And what's crazy? I hate to cut you off like that, but my parents went through a similar situation that he went through, and so it's crazy. Not only did I go through it, like my parents were kind of in a similar situation. Obviously, it's not the same, and then it's crazy to just being here, like I'm alive. Like my parents went through that struggle of seeing me fed through a tube and almost dying. Doctors saying you're probably not gonna make it. Kind of get ready for the funeral type of vibes, and it's faith, and they kept going. They kept at it, and so I just wanted to share that too, because I also relate to that from a personal standpoint,
So we're all kind of invested into this because we believe it. I believe it because of what I'm going through with my family, and he believes it because of his own struggles and everything. So
that's the same that we want to be able to be for you guys. Like you said, raise awareness, be a platform that can really make a change, or even like what you're doing. With your YouTube channel, you're really doing a great job, just documenting your life, showing your day-to-day struggles and how Nathan is progressing, and little things that maybe other parents, because I remember when you were in the NICU, there was other parents that were kind of they were just distraught. They didn't even know how to handle it. They didn't even know anything. And it's especially for someone who's never gone through it, it's always so hard. But, you have been a good example of, obviously you have your struggles, but you've been able to stay strong and keep going and making something happen. And like I said, building this to where you can also be to help other families.
Yeah, absolutely.
Parents that are out there.
Absolutely. Alright guys, well before I close out this video, I just want to thank Christian for coming over here and taking the time to talk to everybody, man. Thank you so much, dude.
Thanks for
I
having
really
me.
appreciate you, and not only that, but like for doing that, what you're doing for our family. We do appreciate it. So that's pretty much it, guys, on this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's something that you guys didn't understand, or you guys have more questions, something we didn't cover, you might be curious about, please go ahead and send me a message, or you guys can comment below. If you want to get shouted out on our next YouTube video on Fridays, all you got to do is subscribe, turn on post notifications, and leave a nice comment below. Alright? And there's just something that I always say when we end these videos. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, you know, I'm a loyal watcher,
right.
so I always see it, of course.
So remember, guys,
be auspicious.
Auspicious.